Welcome to the LANCave, where we're living as nerds. I'm Patrick, joined by Owen.
Hello.
Yeah, we're talking gaming. Had some crazy news this week. We will unfortunately have to.
It's been a weird week.
It's been a really weird week. So we'll try not to be too depressed on this show. We are going to talk some Star Wars later on, by the way. So if you're watching live, you tune in for that because we're going to be spoiling Mandalorian, talking about how much we love it, spoilers that we love it, and then we'll also be talking about gaming news and some other world news. Unfortunately, it may get a little depressing there, but we'll try to get through it, right? Try to get through life. Yeah.
Oh yeah, always try and get through life.
What have you been playing?
So I put in Reverie Sweet As Edition on the Switch because I bought it during I think a Thanksgiving sale for like $4 or $5. It's a Zelda like game with I want to say Earthbound aesthetic.
I say it reminded me of Earthbound when I watched the playthroughs, but.
And you see him swiping away like your sword is a wicket bat.
Okay.
So I'm pretty sure that Redalica, which is the developer of this game, I'm pretty sure they're Australian. I could be wrong. Maybe they're from New Zealand, one of the two. But the fact that it was a wicket bat, like, that tipped me off a little bit there. Instead of a boomerang, you got a yo-yo. There's a dart gun that I apparently don't have yet, so it's like your bow and arrow. But you are a kid trying to cleanse some ghost story that's been on the island for a long time. It's cool enough. It's fun. The only problem that I'm running into has nothing to do with this game whatsoever, and it has nothing. It's just like last week whenever I already shelved the pinball game whose name I've already forgotten. Something Island Adventure. Yuko.
Yeah, it was that memorable.
Yeah, exactly. So the problem that I ran into is just that it's not Final Fantasy VII Remake. So I played that demo and
played it again.
That's all I want to play.
Yeah.
Like I'm not gonna play the demo again. I'm done. Like I can't do it to myself. But I'm way down on games this year. Like normally I would probably be near like 10 or 15 games that I've like touched. But right now I think I'm at like 6. And that's just because I want Final Fantasy VII Remake to come out so badly.
Yeah, dude. I'm. It's crazy. We're so close to it. I know I talked about it on the show already, but I've even double checked my pre-order for the Ultimate Insane Edition is ready. It's there. Updated my card on there just in case.
I went ahead and told them they could run my credit card. There's a little button in there. It's like, would you like us to charge you right now? And normally I think that's a stupid button to hit, children. That's not like, don't ever let people do that. But with this particular thing, I couldn't wait. Like I'm like, no, you can go ahead and charge my credit card right now, Square. It's okay. Me and you have a history, Square. I've given you literally thousands of dollars.
I splurged. And I know I splurged a little bit with the collector's edition, but I don't do that with games. Like I know people. I know people in real life. As well as people I see like on YouTube who they do YouTube for fun. They have like another career, but obviously they play games. As you see, little splurging right there. You got that Lego Friends set behind you too, right?
Yes, I do.
Yeah,
I have Lego Friends. I have Aloy up there. I got my Spider-Man statue. I got the Stadia dust up there.
Yeah.
I got a few splurgy items.
Yeah, I mean, I have a couple here. I mean, not too many crazy ones. I got my Zelda. I haven't even organized this. I just put up the shelves and I just threw stuff on it. So I got some Zelda amiibos. I've got my Mr. Meeseeks. I know. I got some Star Wars over here. I got my Tommy Wiseau bobblehead over here, and some Disney stuff going on, and some pops. Yeah, so I kind of quasi-organized them. So this will change out, but I don't buy a ton of toys. So this is like probably the majority of what I have, because it was like I loved the Disney Infinity. I loved the way that they looked. I had to get them. Zelda, of course. So I only splurge on things that I'm like, this is important. I know that I'm not going to regret it. And I'm not going to regret, especially after playing the demo, I'm not going to regret the Final Fantasy VII Collector's Edition.
Get that tattoo. No regrets.
No regrets. I'm gonna put the statue. The statue's gonna go right here, by the way. So it's
I would hope
nice
so.
visual.
If you're gonna buy a $300 statue, best put it on like the camera.
Oh yeah, it's going right there. It's going right there, and I'll probably I may do an unboxing. I don't know. What do you think?
My steelbook will be somewhere up there because I bought the digital, so now I don't have to open the steelbook, which is probably sad and a waste of money, but that's okay. It's my money, folks. I will do what I wish with it. And once they said it was 100 gigabytes, I said I want that game pre-loaded.
Yes.
Ready to go. I took that day off. I have between 7:30 when my son goes to daycare and 4:30 when I pick my son up from daycare just to play Final Fantasy VII.
You know what? If you're serious about it, and I know you're serious about it, you probably got your Quest bars or some other like ready to eat food, so you don't have to go away. You got some drinks ready for you. I mean, that's what I do when I'm gonna plow through 9 hours of a game. I'm not moving unless I have to.
No, not that. Normally I don't care. Normally I just kind of play things as it is. Like Red Dead came out last year, and I put a lot of hours into that.
Yeah.
But it wasn't anything where like I specifically planned it. This is a planned window of attack that I have to play at least the beginning of this game. We still don't even have any idea how long it is. I'm thinking 20 or 30 hours. So maybe I can play like a fourth of it in a day, and then after that it's just going to be every time my kid goes to bed. Then I'm in. My wife already knows PlayStation and TV from about like 9 p.m. till bedtime is probably mine for a few weeks. Maybe not. It's not going to take me a couple weeks. I'll be putting way too much. I'll be staying up way too late playing that game. I already know, but that's the problem. I have this backlog, and the backlog blowout was going good for a little while, and then that demo came out, man. Yep. The demo. It ruined me.
Yeah, I got a little bit of backlog. I added to my backlog, but I added a game that I've been wanting to play, and I actually got Kevin to play it as well. I've been playing Nier and Nier Automata, which, by the way, I'm not one of those people who's like, oh, I liked Nier before it was cool. Like, I played Nier on Xbox 360, and I loved it. And this game is related to it if you follow the convoluted story. It is crazy deep lore, very weird, not really timelines, but just kind of convoluted stuff that goes on in there. I'm really liking it, except I'm having PlayStation issues that I texted you about. I'm liking what I get to play of it, but my PlayStation, there's a chance that it may be kaput. So we'll see what happens. Either way, I've got it, I got cloud save, so I'm okay. It's just, it's just irritating because I'll play through a section and then it'll just lock up. Every game but Red Dead's doing it. Every game but Metal Gear Solid is it'll freeze up after about 10 minutes and then crash. So.
Yeah, what stinks is like in a PS5 year, it's like, what do you do?
Yeah.
And like,
do I buy another one?
I know what I would do. I would buy another one.
I know.
I don't think that I can wait, especially with like Last of Us on the horizon. I can't.
I don't think I can. I mean, if anything, that it would have to be like, I'm hoping it's just like the hard drive or something, and I can get it to work, because the wife's reaction was, are we getting another PlayStation? Like, or so we get another PlayStation. It wasn't even a question. It was like, well, we're not going to not have a PlayStation. We've been playing that thing so much, and with it being a PS5 year, she knows we're getting a PS5, so it may be something I get a PS4, and that one.
Here you go, wife.
Yeah, and she, well, we're gonna have a rotation of sorts. The PS5 is gonna go into the main room and everything, but we'll see what happens with the PS4. If it's this one or another, I don't know. I'm hoping it's just like a hard drive or something, and I can get it. I can swap it out. I don't know.
It's too bad, because the thing about Nier was, I don't want to say it was overlooked, because it's praised pretty highly. It's rated very highly, so it wasn't like exactly overlooked, but it came out of probably the best year in gaming of the last, or at least of this generation. Yeah. You could argue like the decade, but 2017 was a huge year, and Nier was a part of that huge year. So I know a lot of people kind of skipped it, I think it's a little bit of an easy game, but outside of that, the story's crazy. The animation's cool. There's a lot of like Patrick mentioned with deep lore, so you could probably get it for relatively cheap now.
$20. It was $20 on sale last weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you haven't played it, and I definitely recommend that you try and at least finish one of the endings. It has like a lot of endings. You can even get it. Oh yeah.
Okay.
I played it in 2017. So it's been a couple of years.
Yeah.
It's been a couple of years. Is the thing where I had her get it for my birthday or something.
Okay.
But no, it has a lot of endings. There's even an ending at the very beginning of the game. You know, this isn't spoilery because it's been out 3 years anyway. But you can ignore their instructions and just walk a different direction or something, and you can end the game that way. It happens again after the first ending that you get. You can also ignore their instructions, and they'll just be like, "Oh," and the credits will roll. There's a bunch of many different endings that way, and then I think there's 3 or 4 main endings. So it's cool. It has a lot of replayability, especially if you're looking for that RPG value.
Yeah, that was the only scare with it. I'm really enjoying what I've been playing of it, but I know this is a game that, just like Metal Gear and a lot of others, where I could sink so much time into it. So I foresee playing it until Final Fantasy comes out, and then that's all I'm going to be playing. Probably, I said spring and summer because I'll probably play it twice. I may have to play something in between as a little buffer, but I'm crazy excited about this. Like The Last of Us, yeah.
Ghost of Tsushima.
Yeah, because we got other things coming out. It's a great year for. I mean, it's not really the swan song of the PS4, but it kind of is.
It's definitely is.
Yeah. So, but I was going to segue into some stuff earlier, but we can just segue into the first news topic. You want to take this one? You want me to?
It's the news. We still haven't got a drop for the news, but that's okay. We'll come up with something. But again, lots of interesting. Kind of big news out here, and the first big one that I came with was a little questionable for me, just based on what happened last year. So, GameStop's body is ready to turn the ship around, maybe, sort of, because they have added the legend Reggie Fils-Aimé to their board of directors. Reggie, if you do not know who he is, he's no stranger to helping lead companies, especially through hard times, because he's the former president of Nintendo of America until just last year.
That's right. And he also had similar positions at Pizza Hut and a few others. So he has run the corporate gamut. Video games were not his what he started his career on, but man, did he have fun with it. I mean, everyone gives him crap, but he had a lot of fun with it. He poked fun of himself, and I'm really curious to see what he's going to be able to do to reinvent GameStop. That's what it's going to take at this point. How do you stop the ship that's already sunk? It's not a sinking ship. And I say that with all love and respect to GameStop employees. And as much as I love going into a shop, I was just talking before we went live, talking about I'll go and walk around the mall or walk around Best Buy. I love being able to do that. I think it's growing up in a time where Blockbuster was a thing. I like that environment. I like to go and talk about video games with people, and it's going to be sad if GameStop goes away, not having that hub that you can do that. Yeah.
No, I mean, I there was a time that I would hang out at. We had a CGX, which was a used game shop that also had retro stuff. And then we had the GameStop whenever I was growing up, and I'd hang out there. And then I hit a point where I just hate going to malls now, and I hate going to retail as much as I possibly can. So I don't know that I'll miss it. It is one of those things, though, for kids that I think is a definite something that they should have. They should be able to go to a brick and mortar. The thing about this that was just weird to me, though, was Reggie retired. He left Nintendo saying, "I'm retiring. I'm gonna go hang out with my kids."
That was his reason. That was his reason to retire. Yeah.
It's been fun, guys. So the weird thing about this to me is he's not being put in place at GameStop as a president. He's not being put in a. I know that the board has power, but at the same time, they're the board of directors. They kind of I don't not that I've ever sat on a board or anything, but it seems to me that I don't know. Like, are they trying to just? They added some other people too. They added, I think, a former president of Petco.
Yes.
So somebody who's good at retail as well. I just don't know what they're expecting to accomplish with these people who have done this before on the board instead of like being in the corporate structure and really doing something. Maybe this is the most that they could get Reggie to do, and so maybe he'll just kind of be like, that's a bad idea. I don't. Yeah. Like you said, the ship is sunk, and so unless you're going to put him into like this position of power, which I don't think he really wants to be in, it seems to me like he's just kind of doing it. But
yeah, I agree. It's not going to be long, strenuous, stressful hours for him. He doesn't have to worry about traveling. So I think that it's opportune for him to take a paycheck, be able to do something which he probably is bored. I mean, I get stir crazy if I don't work for like a week. So he's probably in that position where he's like, I just want to do something. I want to be productive. This is allowing him to do that. And I will say they also made some changes or announcements in regards to how long people will be on the board or people will be in certain positions, to basically saying like they're going to be rotating people out to get fresh faces in, which is good, because if you sit in a position like that for longer than say 3, 4, 5 years, actually I'd say 4 or 5 years, after that you're kind of coasting and you need some fresh blood. You need some people who've been actively in the market in a different level other than that. So yeah, weird news, but I'm
interested.
I'm hopeful. Yeah, I'm interested. Yeah. I'm also interested in Horizon Zero Dawn, because it was once a rumor, but now is a fact. Horizon Zero Dawn is making its way to PC this summer, so any of you people who are PC Master Race, you can still enjoy this game. It's a new head of Sony worldwide, Herman Hulst. Did I read the wrong one?
Herman Hulst. No, Herman Hulst. Yeah.
Sorry. I was talking to a PlayStation blog about several things for the future of the company, and confirmed this recent leak, which I also kind of segued, had another bit in there, because he was also talking about the future of PlayStation and PS5, and said that they were going to continue to focus on strong narrative-driven single-player games, which this is a great example of. It's a wonderful game. It was a great seller. I'm not saying it was one of the best sellers for the PlayStation. I don't know that offhand, but The Last of Us and other games like that like this and God of War have proven that these narrative-driven games will sustain. And in fact, I think they're probably the reason PlayStation won this round, that won this generation.
It sold over 10 million.
Okay, so it did.
So I'm relatively sure, and don't like quote me on this because I don't know if Days Gone hit that, but I think they have like 5 of their first party exclusives that all hit over 10 million, which is pretty impressive. Like Spider-Man definitely did, Horizon did, God of War did, maybe even Last of Us Remastered did, but I would have to check that one.
Yeah. Yeah, I was just checking Days. Looking at the top games. I mean, PlayStation's exclusives we've been talking about. That is what I think. That's what cemented PlayStation for this generation. That and the really terrible launch of the Xbox One. It's a great console. It's a powerful console. The Xbox One X is an amazing console, but Sony's just showing their focus here, and that's not to say that they're not going to have the multiplayer games. They're not going to have games, like Godfall. We know Godfall is going to be it's Gearbox, so we're going to have that multiplayer aspect to it. But I think Sony knows what their winning formula is. At least it was for PlayStation 4, and I'd argue the PlayStation 3's best games are that as well, those narrative single player games.
Yeah, and I did want to also note just about the PlayStation exclusives as well, is that in that interview they also noted that they're not saying no other no other exclusives that are going to come to PC, but right now they did say that Horizon's the only one that's planned. Now I think that he would say that anyway. That's not to say that like a Last of Us wouldn't come to PC or anything like that. I think that's a possibility. From what I did hear, though, that it has to do with a particular engine, and it's the engine that Horizon runs on. And I've meant to write down the name, but I forgot. But there's an engine that Horizon runs on that apparently runs on PC very well, or is very portable. And so Horizon, if it's made in that engine, there's a much stronger chance of that happening. But these heads of studios say this kind of, or in this case companies, say this kind of stuff all the time, like we have no plans for it. Like the Nintendo said that they didn't have plans for another Switch, and then the Switch Lite came out in that same year. Whenever they say that, like, they have to, kind of thing. I'm not saying that they're not, but I definitely do think that Horizon's going to test the waters, and if it does well on PC, which it should. If you haven't played this game because you don't have a PlayStation and you're a PC person, play this game. It's fantastic. And they're going to mod the crap out of it, which is also probably going to make it pretty amazing. It already looks pretty good. I bet there's some modders out there that are going to make it look amazing. I bet if it does well, that definitely opens the door a lot wider, because Sony all about that money, baby. And they're definitely going to make, every single one of their studios. I mean, it's the long running joke now with Sony. Every single one of their studios is very good at single player games. The joke is that, oh, look, another third person narrative based video game that a Sony studio is doing. I do hope that even though they said that, that they make a multiplayer game. Just something. Like, you don't try and make a Call of Duty. Like, don't try and make like some crazy World War first-person shooter or anything. Like, do something in your wheelhouse. Like, maybe put a story to it, but make some multiplayer. I do hope they do a first-person game in there. Maybe, there's a lot of room in there for other genres, and I know that Sony Studios master certain ones, but I hope that they branch out a little bit with PS5, or they could just keep paying other people to do it for them.
Yeah, I want to see more fun and whimsy like we got at Little Big Planet and other games like that. I thought that was really great for PS3 era at least. But I also want to know more about like first party exclusive games, because like we're hearing like about Senua's Saga. I almost said Senua's Sacrifice, but it's the second one. Like, I'm still excited about that, and knowing that's coming out on Xbox, like I know neither one of them. I don't know what's coming out on these new consoles that makes me want to buy them. I'm still going to buy a PlayStation, but I would like to see that new hotness. I want to see it. I want to get ready for it. My body is ready. And
those teeth graphics are so creepy.
Her teeth, her gums, the freaking gums. That's usually just ignored. And it sounds like we're gonna we may have to wait even longer, or we're gonna get in a different way, because E3 has been canceled. Since 1995, we've had Electronic Entertainment Expo for 25 years. And we saw the writing on the wall even before coronavirus and everything else going on. And we saw the writing on the wall. This was antiquated. It needed to evolve in one way or another. And it's being forced to. E3 will not take place this year. Are you still taking the week off?
No.
Like, now what do I do? I mean, we are getting confirmation. Nintendo Nintendo hasn't said anything, but Phil Spencer said they'll have digital events. Ubisoft is going to have one. I am willing to bet that everyone is going to do digital events, whether or not they tell us they're going to do them. We're still going to get those announcements that we would have seen streamed. We will get it as a digital event. I'd love for some nice package stuff, the way that Devolver's been doing, the way that what Nintendo's been doing. Give me more of that. That's what I want.
I mean, I want. No, I don't want. I mean, I'm going to take it. That's what's going to happen. I will take what happened. I like Devolver's thing because I don't think that they need that their level of games really needs to be on a stage.
Sure.
No offense to Devolver. I've said many times on the show how much I love them. They are fantastic. They are one of the great indie publishers / developers out there. So this is not a knock on them for saying that they don't necessarily need a stage. Their direct style thing is great. Nintendo has come a long way in the last couple of years in their direct style, but we've seen that State of Play, for example, which Sony hasn't said anything anyway. They had pulled out at E3 long before this announcement that it was canceled. Their State of Plays leave a little something to be desired. They don't quite have it down yet. Microsoft is definitely, it's not going to be good. It's going to be fine. It's just like, I can already tell that just, they don't have experience doing it. Nintendo has been doing this now for, 5 years, 6 years? And they're great at it now. Like, they have a cadence to them. They have this thing. Sometimes it's still a little cheesy and a little childlike, but that's just, you've gotten used to it.
Yeah.
The thing that I'm going to miss, though, is there's something about the live element. There, like, where there's that little bit of room for a little bit of improv. You know, somebody says something in the crowd, and the person on the stage reacts to
You're
it.
beautiful.
Yeah,
You're breathtaking.
exactly. You're breathtaking. Like, there's those moments that we're not going to get. That is sad for me. In terms of the AAA experiences, in terms of all these big companies, you're exactly right. They're all going to do something. But what the people who get hurt in this, though, that not a lot of people think about, is that indie developers get a lot more out of the show than people probably know. Like, they're there to showcase games and hopefully get deals. Like, please, representative, look at our game and publish it for us, please. Please give us the money to finish it. Yeah. This and GDC both being canceled is huge. Somebody mentioned to me just that it can even be big for AAA people too. Just, you know, people exposing their career, because even though E3 is a great fan event now, E3 first and foremost is an industry show. It was for the industry. It was for the media. It was to showcase everything to the world, get everybody's opinions to push that out. And we're just not going to get it now. And I think that we may have seen the last of E3.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. I think this will be it. I think that the industry will look back at this year and say, we did okay without E3. And by the industry, I mean the big players are going to be fine because they had money to market everything else otherwise. And it will be a thing of the past, which is sad. I like the live element. It's exciting. We're getting other cancellations as the NBA suspending, that was a crazy story. I actually had to follow up on because, you know, I'm not a big sports guy, but NBA, MLB, NHL, NCAA just completely canceling March Madness. What the heck, man? Like,
so that came up. I can talk a little bit more about the sports thing.
Sure.
So it started with the NBA yesterday. There was a game where literally the announcers, so anybody who goes to a sports arena, they do have like an in-arena announcer, the guy that like yells at the crowd and stuff. He just comes on the thing and is like, sorry, the game has been postponed. You guys are all safe, but the game is not going to happen. Sorry. Turns out one of the NBA players has corona. And then today, another one of the players has corona. NBA suspends their season. After that, it's kind of a dominoes falling situation. The NHL then postponed their season. Major League Baseball season hasn't started yet. They're in the preseason right now, or what's called spring training. Spring training was canceled. Spring training is just over.
By the way, it's right down the street from my house.
Oh, you have the Florida League, but dude, that's so awesome.
The Phillies are like, So
you should. The Red Sox should be over there too, dude. You should go watch.
I have to look. I was gonna say, like, I have to look. I'm actually like been like, I could go like right down the like
The
less than 2
Grapefruit League,
miles
man.
away. There's like Phillies practice around here, and there's some others that I think the Phillies are the ones that are like right down the street from my house. So I'm like that's
I'm jealous.
really cool.
I would go every year.
Yeah.
So they just straight up canceled the rest of spring training and then postponed the beginning of their season. Major League Soccer postponed for I think it was at least 4 weeks. NCAA wasn't even doing the right thing necessarily. They basically there's conferences inside there. Like every college is a part of a conference, and they all have their tournaments this week to decide who's the best in their conference, and then the NCAA selects from that, and that's how we get March Madness.
Yep.
All those tournaments were this weekend. They slowly started being canceled. Then Duke, one of the biggest basketball schools in the country, says they're not going to show up to March Madness whether they're picked or not. And then finally the NCAA was like, okay, March Madness is canceled.
Yeah. And if you think this is overblown, look at what's happening in Italy. Like, look at what's happening in Italy. I'm trying to not to get depressing here, but like it is a very rough virus. Yes, it's preventable. They're basically canceling this is trying to slow the spread throughout the country, and that's what it's about. You slow it, contain it, make sure those who can't afford to be sick don't get sick, and wash your hands, do all the things that you need to do. Like, majority of us hopefully will be okay. Some of us may get sick and we'll get, it'll be like a rough upper respiratory infection, which I don't know if have you ever had bronchitis or pneumonia or anything like that?
I've had the flu.
Dude, I had bronchitis and pneumonia like simultaneously, and I thought I was going to die. So this is worse than that. It's rough. Yeah.
And there's a lot of people, again, he mentioned the overblownness. I mean, that's somebody in the chat mentioned it. I put it on here as well. This comes on the heel at like South by Southwest was closed. Coachella was postponed. There was a big rodeo that happens in Houston every year. They stopped that right in the middle of it.
U.S. suspended air travel to Europe.
Yeah, that happened just last night. Like, again, this isn't our area to cover, but I want to say, like, we've been slowly talking about it affecting the games industry, and this just in the last 48 hours has really started to show up everywhere. Yeah. And it stinks, and it's something where your heart really goes out for a lot of people. We're talking about millions of dollars that are not coming in as a result of all this stuff. And we're talking about hourly employees. A lot of people are like, rich people aren't going to get rich. But hourly employees, I'm an hourly employee. Yeah. And so it stinks. I'm thinking about you guys. If you're affected by that, I just wanted to bring it up, obviously, because the E3 is a big deal. And that's like my favorite time of year. So I was already a little bummed about that. But just overall, be safe. Yeah. We'll still be here. Luckily, me and Patrick don't go anywhere. We don't leave our secluded areas. I stay in this box.
Yep, you're seeing where we work.
I am in this room for at least 9 hours a day.
Yep.
We will continue bringing the game.
I'm 10 or 11 off and on every day. It gets grueling. And then I come back to do the show because we love you guys, and we're going to get through this. If anything, take that time to go through your backlog of video games and
do a backlog blowout.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. Speaking of video games, because we talk about video games on the show, other than coronavirus, on a lighthearted note, March 10th, also known as Mario Day, just passed, and we got an announcement along with the digital and physical sales of Nintendo games at various retail outlets in the eShop and everything. Lego and Nintendo have partnered with Lego Mario. So
I had to end on this because look how adorable that Mario is.
Okay, it's adorable. The Bowser is adorable, and the fact that whatever RFID or something that's allowing it to change. Because when I first saw screenshots, I thought they were digitally adjusting it. I didn't realize there's a little LED display inside of him with, I'm assuming, RFID for it to recognize where he is. I may have to get this.
I mean, I'm
feel
getting
like,
this. There is no May.
Well,
this
there's
is
gonna be multiple
so
sets.
stupidly cute.
It's adorable. I think like I could probably set it all up. It's what I'm hoping for in addition to this, I'm hoping to see a game tie-in, which, you know, because it said eShop. So it wasn't just retail, so you can't sell this through the eShop. So something else is going on. I hope it's not just buying digital currency or digital upgrades or something like that to Mario. I hope we're getting,
so.
yeah, I hope there's some type of game element.
Lego's pretty clean that way. I don't know. Like,
I'm just hoping. Yeah, go ahead.
As big of a company and stuff as Lego is, they generally do right. Like, you don't really hear of Lego like doing wrong by the public, so I don't think that they would enter this partnership, and Nintendo isn't really that scummy either. And so I mean, you could be right, there could be something to it, but I mean, I know for 99% of fact in my mind, I'm just guessing again, but 99% fact is what I'm going to call it, that you're going to be able to buy the set and it's going to be just fine, even if you do absolutely nothing to it.
Oh, sure. Oh, no, it'll still be fun. But my question, like, is more of if are we going to get a video game tie-in? How quickly are we going to hear about that? Maybe that was what is going to be announced around E3.
What if they added it as a part of Mario Maker 2?
Ooh.
Like adding like a Lego DLC to Mario Maker 2?
Just free if you bought the set, like RFID it.
That would be cool. Yeah,
it.
If it had like an amiibo card in it.
That'd be amazing. That'd be
Nintendo
awesome. Do that. Like, I know you
can take our idea.
Double dip. Yeah, I know you want to double dip and you want to sell the game as well as it. But seriously, you will sell so many of these. If you're like, you'll sell that and you'll sell more Mario Maker too. I'll go buy Mario Maker 2. I haven't bought Mario Maker 2 yet. I need to.
I know Nintendo listens to this show because we're a super popular podcast. So Nintendo, you can have this idea. I won't even charge you for it.
Exactly.